Hi, I'm Danny Lipford.
And I'm Chelsea Lipford-Wolf.
Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And be sure to share with a friend, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show.
Remodeling your home can be a big project, but how do you get started? This week, we'll show you how.
Today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford. Real projects for real homeowners with real solutions. Information and inspiration on improving your home from professional remodeler Danny Lipford.
Welcome to the show this week. In my 25 years as a remodeling contractor, I have heard hundreds of homeowners say, I would really like to remodel my home, but where do I start? Or how do I design an addition for my home? These and dozens of other questions are on the minds of anybody that may be contemplating a renovation to their home, whether it's large or small. Well, this week, we want to guide you through what we call the proper approach to remodeling your home. We'll talk with several different remodeling contractors throughout the country for a few of their ideas, and we'll show you how you can have a hassle-free renovation and still stay on budget. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. The right approach to remodeling your home will decide whether or not it'll be a big success or a big headache. Every successful renovation project, large or small, starts with careful planning. And that careful planning starts with creating a list.
It's very helpful if people kind of have a priority list of what they want to get done and what is the most important aspect of the project. Say for an example, in a bathroom. Say they want to make sure that they have a separate shower and a separate bath, or they want to have a whirlpool tub or a new air tub or whatever it is, but to have an idea of a list of things that they want done and the priorities, because most times when you're talking to a customer, they want the moon and have the bigger budget, so it's helpful when you prioritize things.
Now you may ask yourself, what's really motivating you to take on a home improvement project? Now it may be extra living spaces needed, like these homeowners, or you may need some storage area, a little extra storage area, we all need that, or updating and modernizing another part of your home. Or you may just want a fun room, like a game room. But regardless of what you want, you need to make sure you're making a list of everything you want to accomplish in the renovation, and then maybe another list, like a wish list, of things that you would like to do if the budget allows. Now, another question I hear from a lot of homeowners is, do I need an architect, an interior designer, an interior decorator, or all of the above? It really depends on what size project you have in mind. If you're just painting walls or installing new wallpaper or flooring and feel confident in your ability to make the right selections, you can probably do fine on your own. If you're not completely comfortable with making those selections, you may want to enlist the help of an interior decorator. Then you can go shopping with them to help you coordinate your colors and surfaces to get just the right look. Now, if your remodeling plans are mostly interior work, like moving walls, creating a unique ceiling or a new cabinets, then an interior designer can help you there. They can offer you advice and provide you plans to guide you through the work. If your remodeling plans are going to affect the exterior of your home, or the interior work is fairly extensive, it's time for an architect. An architect can assist you from concept to final plans. Now, many architects will also help you in selecting a contractor and providing supervision during the construction stage. Now, another idea and another approach that we're hearing a lot about these days is the design-build approach. This is where a remodeling contractor handles the concept, the design, and the construction stage of a project.
Well, as a design-build firm, which is what the Sullivan Company is, the best thing for a client to have when we arrive is an overall idea of what they're hoping to accomplish. If they have a sketch of something that they've always dreamed about, pictures from magazines, anything they've seen that they love and that they want to have as part of their life, that is the most helpful thing they can have when we arrive. Beyond that, we can provide the plans and we can provide the construction services, but they need to have a clear idea and a clear budget of how much they want to spend on this project. so that we can let them know how realistic that is and how we can help them.
Well, for me, it's fairly easy. For being in this business 46, 47 years, I basically have an idea of what can be done, what can't be done. So I'll try and get their ideas and then put together suggestions of what I think would work for them. If they're excited enough to kind of carry it further, then we do have a design staff, and I have them sign a design agreement, and then we go ahead and put together a plan and come back to them with some perspectives on what we're doing and go from there.
Now, Don mentioned how he handles the design in his company, and that may vary from company to company, but after you've made your decision on which approach you'll take, whether you need the designer, architect, or a design build firm, then you can move forward with your concept, your design, and all of the plans, which will serve as your game plan for the rest of the project. Then it's time to get a contractor. We'll talk about that next, right after our simple solution.
Get ready to review your fix-it list as Danny and home repair expert Joe Trewini show you this week's simple solution. Brought to you by DuPont Tyvek. Build it once, build it right.
Plywood is something that you use around the home all the time, and Joe has a few tips to make it a little easier to cut plywood and make a more accurate cut.
Well, the first thing you want to do, Danny, when you're cutting a large sheet like this, 4 by 8 foot piece of plywood, is to properly support it across the whole length of the sheet. Here we're cutting on a ping pong table, but there's no fear of actually cutting through it because we are supporting the sheet on with 4 2x2s. What that does is not only does it lift it up off the table, but I've positioned these two very close to the cut line, so when you cut through across the sheet, both halves will be properly supported.
Also, I might mention that Joe's turned the finished side of the plywood down because that always gives you a better cut when you're using a circular saw.
Okay, now we're also going to ensure a perfectly straight cut by using a 1x4 straight edge to guide the saw along. So what we want to do, first thing is put the saw on your cut line and then make a pencil mark along the edge of the saw shoe. And then measure the distance between those two marks. In this case, it's about 1.5 inches.
Okay.
If you can mark it 1.5 inches there,
Okay, I got it.
then you just clamp your straight edge on that second mark.
All right, I got mine.
And then all you need to do to get a perfectly straight cut is guide the saw shoe right along the straight edge.
Now that you've decided on the exact design for your project, it's time to decide on who will take care of the work. Now, on smaller projects, many homeowners decide to do a lot of the work themselves, but even if you have the skills necessary to do some of the work, you may have a hard time finding the time to take care of it. Now, one option is to share some of the work with your local home center. Say, for example, you're doing a simple kitchen makeover. Many home centers offer installed sales or at-home services for things like flooring, kitchen cabinets, or countertops. That means they not only sell you the products, but also provide the services to deliver and install them. This will leave you open to handle less involved jobs like painting and hardware replacement. Now, for larger jobs like this one, you'll probably want a professional remodeling contractor, and that choice involves several factors.
Many home builders associations have remodelers councils, and they have lists of contractors that subscribe to a code of ethics, have been in business a long time. These are the guys with the white hats. They're responsible contractors. So that's a great place to start. But you need to combine that with some other things, including talking to neighbors who have done similar kinds of projects in that same community to be sure that you're not hiring somebody from a nearby town and all the subs are coming from too far away, and you get into delay problems and so on from that. So getting references, actually going to look at jobs, I encourage people to do that. So in that first meeting, I'll try to find a couple of projects nearby that are similar in scope and encourage them to actually go look at projects completed or in progress that are similar.
I would look for is professional certification or professional designation, like the Certified Graduate Remodeler or the CAPS, which is the Certified Aging in Place Specialist. Any of those things goes to show that that particular remodeler has an interest in the industry and is furthering his education to provide better services for his clients.
If your job is large enough, you want to go see something else that they've done. And basically, if they have the abilities and the credentials that you're looking for, find the one with which you're most comfortable talking, because there's a lot of talking and communication that's necessary. So if you have somebody with which you're able to establish a rapport, That's probably the most helpful thing in the beginning, because if you have searched out the right kind of people to begin with, then they have the capabilities.
You can see how important the interaction between you and your contractor will be. So once you've decided 2 or 3 contractors that you know are qualified and you feel like you can communicate well with, set up a meeting with each one of them at your home. Now, don't try to squeeze this into a lunch hour. This will take 1.5 hours to 2 hours to thoroughly explain exactly what's involved in your project. Have at least 3 sets of plans for each contractor you meet with so that they and their subcontractors can adequately evaluate your job. At the conclusion of the meeting, establish a time when they'll have their estimate ready for you to review. Once the estimates are ready, set up another meeting with the contractors to allow them to explain their estimate. Now, make sure you're comparing apples for apples from estimate to estimate. Now, ask a lot of questions. When can you start? How long will it take? What materials you'll use? After all of this, you can really make a good decision on which contractor that'll do your project. But make sure you're not using the cost as the only factor in making that decision.
Sometimes the people who are trying to find the best price can least afford to take the low price because it doesn't really represent what they're after, but just what someone thinks they can get the job for.
It's more important to go and find a referral and stick with a contractor that you know is reputable than to go out and get 3 or 4 bids. Because if you're going to go with the lowest bid, you're probably not going to like it, the end product.
The bottom line is to choose a contractor that you can communicate well with, that you're comfortable with, and is qualified to do the job right. Now, the next step is the contract and the fun part, getting started. We'll look at that in just a few minutes.
Now let's join Danny at the Home Center to check out the best new products. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
Now, it used to be to have a nice clean yard, all you needed was a good rake and a good wheelbarrow. Nowadays, everybody's looking for ways to make that project go a little quicker. Well, certainly the Home Light Vac Attack can help you a lot there. First of all, it's a 2-cycle 25cc engine and has a velocity of 160 miles per hour coming right out of the tube. Another thing that goes down the tube is the exhaust, so it's much quieter and a lot safer to use. Now, once you get all your leaves piled up by using the Vac Attack, then you can go to the mulching and vacuum part of this. And to assemble that, all you do, you have the large vacuum tube that you bring this lid down, assemble it right in place. No tools are needed. One twist, and you're ready to go with it. Now, to collect all the leaves that you bag up after they're being mulched through the motor, you have this bag that slips right over the other tube, and then a little Velcro strap that's real easy just to strap it right in place. Then you have something here to kind of help you keep the bag up, and you're ready to vacuum everything in, mulch it up, and you're reducing your quantity of leaves from 12 bags down to just 1. And everything you see here, $109. Okay, you have your design, you've selected a contractor, now it's contract time. Now, no matter how much you trust the contractor you selected, it's always a good idea to have a contract to serve as a written reminder of exactly what will be done on your project. Now, here are just a few of the things that need to be included in that contract. A complete description of all work to be done, descriptions of work not to be done, materials to be used on your project, total price and method of payment, and an approximate start and completion date. If you feel uncomfortable in any way with the contract, consider having your attorney review it for you. Now, one of the things you can do as a homeowner to really help move the project along is make your selections as early as you possibly can and convey that information back to the contractor. This will really help things move along smoothly. Also, consider moving any of your personal belongings away from the job site area so that there's no damage that will occur with any of your belongings. Also, take care of those pets so that none of the pets will be running around the neighborhood or hampering any of the work's progress. Now, we talked earlier about how important communication is between a contractor and a homeowner. It's really important once the job gets started.
The most important thing that a homeowner can do to help the process along is, number one, to be available. And number two, to be honest and upfront with any feelings they have during the course of the project. They need to be available to answer questions, to make decisions as the project moves forward. But also, if they're upset, if they're unhappy with any part of the project at any time, you need to remind your clients that they need to tell you this. It's very important to have a good dialogue and open communication, so if something is bothering a particular client and they tell you, then you can address that and fix that problem for them before it gets out of hand.
And working with your contractor, one of the most important things a homeowner can do is to set up with their contractor a regular meeting. We like to do weekly meetings with our clients. Really smooths out the rough edges, answers questions, and puts out fires when they're small instead of big. That kind of communication, organized communication plan, even in a small project, lends a tremendous amount to making things go smoothly.
One form of communication that I've found to be very effective is what we call a job communication notebook. It's just a simple notebook that stays out on the job and allows both the homeowner and the contractor to write down any questions or answers they may have on a daily basis. This saves a lot of time on telephone tag. Now, good communication between you and your contractor will ensure that the project turns out just the way you had envisioned it. Now, towards the end of the project, you may want to do a little walk around the project to create what we call a punch list. Then give the contractor a few days to correct or complete any of the projects or any of the items on the list, and then a final walkthrough should complete the whole process.
Now let's go outside for Around the Yard with Danny and lawn and garden expert Tricia Craven-Worley. Brought to you by TimberTech Composite Decking. Less work, more life.
Well, I know what Tricia's doing this week. She's planting eggplants.
Oh, Danny. Well, you can call them eggplants, and in fact, they are plants and eggs, but here's the scoop. Pardon the pun. What we've done a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to get some seedlings going. So this is a really, really good trick that's good for the soil as well. You crack your eggs that you've already eaten, and then you put in a really nice blend of fine soil that includes a really mild fertilizer because you don't want to shock the plants. And once the seedlings get to be about this height, all you have to do is put them in the soil. Now, the good thing about this is that this eggshell is biodegradable. And not only is it biodegradable, but it also puts some really fabulous nutrients into the soil.
So you can really kind of get a head start then on the planting season by starting these, say, inside.
Right, and as you can see, I use this tray, which is a really super way to store them, and it keeps them all upright. And when you still have them inside, you want to use a mister to be watering them so that you're not disturbing the soil too much. And then once they're at this point in the actual soil, don't blast them with water because you might shake them out of their little shell. But just make sure you break up the shell around it so that when the roots get strong enough, they'll blast through it.
Oh, I see. It's a great idea to use those old shells, and like you said, biodegradable. This is a good one.
Home remodeling can be both exciting and challenging, so you can see how important the planning we've been talking about is to the success of your project. Until next week, I'm Danny Lipford. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to like, comment, and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified of new videos.
And be sure to click around and watch some more videos while you're here.